Right now, we're in the fifth month of the second Trump presidency, and regardless of what your opinion of him is, it's clear he's not exactly enjoying the grace of public support. His approval rating right now is sitting in the mid 40s and has slid to clear underwater territory, partly due to his actions on trade and foreign policy. And just recently, a large protest was held nationwide against him with high turnout. Because of this, you'd think that the 2026 midterms are gonna be a blue wave, right? Well, Democrats right now are ahead in the generic ballot polls by about 2 points. A statistical tie. Now, to give you an understanding of why this is interesting, look at the averages in 2018. Democrats were basically always leading by 5 to 7 points. This same time in 2017, in fact, they were ahead by 6. So if these trends hold and they don't manage to make it a larger lead matching this, 2026 will likely not be a blue wave election. I still feel it's a foregone conclusion that Democrats are going to flip the House, probably taking 15 or 20 extra seats, but you really can't call that a blue wave, more so just a good environment for Democrats that gets them over the top. Maybe a blue ripple. And because of how the Senate looks, Republicans will probably hold that. So, as I recently said, a boring midterm as things currently look right now. And that's honestly insane to think. Trump being unpopular should spell doom for Republicans. But for some reason, they're poised to take an L that really isn't going to be that painful. Just kind of like an, oh, damn, this sucks, and move on. But this doesn't seem as surprising when you start to think about recent election cycles. 2022, Joe Biden was also massively unpopular. Republicans thought they were getting a red wave, and nope. Now, Dobbs did impact this to a degree, but honestly, even without that, they were never really having that impressive of a lead. 2018 was generally a blue wave, but this itself should have been looked at a bit more. You see, if you check Trump's approval rating and how Democrats did, it's kind of surprising they only flipped 41 seats. In 2010, Republicans flipped 63 when Obama was actually more popular than Trump at the same time, even if he was unpopular as well the day the 2010 midterms happened. On the presidential level, a similar thing is happening as well. So far this century, we've had 7 presidential elections. The largest popular vote win was Barack Obama in 2008 with 7.2%. And the lowest was Al Gore with 0.5%. In total, the win average of these 7 elections has been 3.2%. For comparison, the previous 7 elections, ranging from 1972 to 1996, had an average popular vote win margin of 12.1%. So that's like a 75% decline about that. And it's just kind of clear what this indicates. The country has become rapidly polarized. But what's even more clear, just by looking at outcomes of our election thus far, that a landslide election, one that fundamentally shows the country rejecting the party that loses for the cycle, or one that kicks off a new electoral age, just isn't happening. Obama 2008 was a big win, but if you compare it to Reagan 1984, Nixon 1972, and even Clinton 1992, it kind of just looks like a relatively weak landslide, even if I would still say it just met the criteria for what you would consider to be one. No other election in the century thus far has really been a giant statement win, rather, one party managing to get over the finish line. 2024 is a good example of this. It was a big year for Republicans, the first time since 2004 they won the popular vote, and it was their best electoral college margin as well since 1988, but that was still a very close election. Trump only won the popular vote by 1.5%. And in 2020, despite a recession, a pandemic, and the worst social unrest since 1968, Biden basically had a slightly decent popular vote win of 4.5%. That's half of Obama 2008 with a more chaotic environment against the incumbents. And now we come to today, 2025. Right now, again, the polls for the 2026 midterms are closer than you'd expect for the party that is not in power. I've touched on this before, and I could end up being wrong, who knows? But I really think you should not expect a landslide election happening anytime soon. It's super clear the country has become just way too partisan. And added to this, both parties are generally unpopular, and they seem to get more unpopular each year. Voters are a mix of two things at this point. They're unhappy with the two parties, but they're so unhappy with the party they least identify with that they'll stick with their personal lesser evil each election. And that's why, as it stands, next year and maybe even 2028 will be less explosive wins for whoever manages to clinch it than many would like to see. I want to reiterate this could be wrong, but nothing is pointing in that direction as of right now.